At first, I heard the white students.
I don't know, I mean, in terms of lack of community support, I think is the way the white students organized, and that was an ongoing struggle that took place for many years after, and some of the people that saw the screening of the film weren't at Columbia in '68, but came back and got involved in these movements, and I just remember a lot of the debates and struggles that took place, on till I was here from '74. And the key thing also was that virtually every day on the campus there were demonstrations by people in the community. Some were high school students, some people mentioned Brandeis High School kids, people from the community marching around. You turn around and there was another couple hundred people from somewhere else, or somebody had come up from Brooklyn, or somebody had come in from another school or something like that. And it became a sort of center of all this struggle. And so to just call it just a student strike, yes, there was a student strike. That was one part of this incredible uprising that took place. It was taking place minimally throughout the whole city, with Harlem really as a center of it. And to me, it was more of a rebellion in Harlem with the Columbia students supporting it. It was more an accurate portrayal of it. I remember people chanting, remember the old chants, beat, beat, bang, bang, Ogawa, Black Power. You see everybody, every night that was going on. And that has been, to a large degree, written out of the history. And I mentioned when we discussed the film, the Columbia Spectator, the newspaper, called 1968 a student riot.
Yes.
That neither word is true. It wasn't just, or even primarily students in that sense, and it certainly wasn't a riot. The only riot that took place was by the police when they kicked people out of the building and took back the campus. But other than that, it's just totally inaccurate. And that's why I think the film was so important, and what Bill Sales and others have talked about, to reestablish that history, because I think some of the white students have organized this as a self-congratulatory side to what they're doing, and they don't want to look at the shortcomings of what they did back in the day. And so, weren't we cool, weren't we great back then? Well, it was very courageous and noble to do that, but politically they made huge blunders, and eventually people paid the price for that, and the film reestablishes that history. So there isn't as much, to me, there isn't as much continuity between what the white students did and what they later did as what happened in the black community, which is still going on today with, again, the whole struggle around Columbia's expansion west and north.
Yeah.
Which you tie in you directly document that in the film.
Right, and it was just almost serendipitous, as they say, that we were able to catch those young people, 5 people conducting a hunger strike. We came up on that Saturday, November 10th, and it was a 10-day strike. And it's still, to see that young man talking about those demands, I can almost weep. I don't know if you've noticed it. The more I see it, the more I notice it. His lips are parched. He can hardly speak. Could you notice that?
I did notice that.
He has been drinking like Gatorade or something.
Right. And
he was so bright. We interviewed him later, intelligent, and the young lady, you saw this in the Vow for You version. We had to cut again, so the Vow version doesn't have it. They had a Chinese girl there whose name is Aretha. And I asked her, was she named after Aretha Franklin? She said yes. She's proud of it, yes. So anyway, and then there was another one, Emily, and the women were more visible than the men anyway, the black people in particular. But anyway, yeah, this is a striking thing about what we're doing. We come in here, I don't know if it's self-congratulating or what, but you feel as one who was there that this is somehow validating our youth and what we stood for, what we tried to do. Because especially the black ones in Hamilton, there's no mention anywhere, to Mark Rudd or else, or nothing. So, and you do sort of want to pat yourselves on the back. But when I went to the session yesterday, and Nellie Bailey was there, Nellie from Harlem, Texas. And she, I sat down in front of her. She's kind of, we bonded last fall. We came up for that struggle. She allowed me and P. Hamlin, who's a graduate of our class at Columbia, Kamal, my son, to speak to the rally. They had all left the Sundial area and had gone to the president's house. And the rally was almost over, and I think Kamal, so assertive as he is, said, "Can we speak? Can we speak?" So he told them we were filming this movie and we'd like to be in. And so she listened, she looked at all the crowd, she said, "Yeah, go ahead." So we each three had to say something. So she sits into this meeting, and it's boo and kiss from her and a couple of other people when Lee Bollinger got to speak and got up to speak. And they,
the president
of Columbia University, he was the second speaker. They very quietly waited till he spoke. And they started this, and I'm sitting right there in the middle of this acting out demonstration, you know. And I didn't say anything on either side because, you know, I'm here as an alum of this campus, and I'm not demonstrating like I was 40 years ago. But I waited for my opportunity, and she wouldn't give it up. So the coordinating committee came rushing over. Robert Friedman, his big tall. "You realize you're just going to demonstrate, you know, just going to destroy our meeting or something?" She says, "If I have to," you know. She said. And a couple of the women were there, Laura Pinsky and Nancy Beakerman. So Nancy finally said, "Would it help if you say something, if we let you speak, rather?" And she said, "Yes." And then she took like this. She didn't say a word for the rest of the panel. And then I turned her towards the end. Ray Brown was speaking. He was the last one. I said, "Nellie, when are you going to speak?" She says, "I don't know. I guess they'll tell me." I said, "No, you just need to go." She said, "I guess I should ask." I said, "No, don't ask. Just go up there." She said, "You think I should listen?" "Yeah, no, never mind. I will go." And I went up to Nancy, who was standing at the door. And Nancy said, "Yeah, she could speak under the," I told her my assumption was she would speak under the question and answer period after Ray Brown. He was the last one. So she said, "Yes, let's do that, a Q&A. And I went back and told Nellie, well, this same person had promised me to speak the night before about our films, and she reneged. So I don't really trust her. So I said, "Nellie, just go up there near the microphone when it's time for Q&A. You be the first one." And the moderator tried to look over her and not let her speak, but she was the first one at the mic. And she said, "I don't have a question, I have a statement." Bollinger, of course, is leaving or walking out the door very slowly but methodically, which she pointed out. And so when I got my chance to go to the podium, I introduced myself and my film and all, and I said, "And I am saddened that in all of this weekend of events, with all of this you know, commendation I have given to the organizers of the event, that somebody has to force their way to come and speak to us about Harlem." And everybody started clapping. I said, "What are we doing here? You know, this is what we're here for."